No, it's all the same mission. Obviously, we have a better record than we ever had going into the playoffs and a higher seed, but everything resets just like it did the last 2 years. And the feeling's the same. We understand what it's going to take to win. We just got to go out there and do it. Every detail is important along the way, and it has been all season, and nothing will change in the playoffs, and the switch has always been on.
A confident Steph Curry ahead of the game. But just last week when the two teams met in New Orleans, Golden State jokingly called the game a scrimmage. That is until the Pelicans went on to beat the Warriors 103-100. New Orleans has not forgotten about the comments, and after clinching the 8th seed Wednesday night over the Spurs with that win, the players said that they were excited for another scrimmage. Stephen A. So who wins?
I definitely think the Warriors. I definitely think the Warriors going to win Game 1.
Okay.
I see the Warriors winning this series in 5 games. I think the crowd. First of all, let me say this. I'm going to remind you this, Skip. Skip, if you really, really want to have some fun, you too, Kerry. Y'all really need to take a trip out to Oakland, California, to go to one of these Warriors games during the postseason. I'm trying to tell you right now, it's the best home crowd in the NBA. It is straight electricity. It's something special, man. I'm telling you, this crowd is on another level. And when you look at it from that perspective, and then you see that the Warriors have the #1 seed and the expectations that come with it, with everybody waiting for this moment, this is legitimately the best shot the Golden State Warriors have had at a title in almost 40 years. Seriously. It's that deep. And I'm telling you right now, it's going to be something special to watch. And I think that they're going to come out like gangbusters in Game 1. The series could get competitive and interesting beyond Game 1. But I think the Game 1 is all Golden State Warriors. I think they're going to win, I wouldn't say by a blowout, but relatively comfortably by about 10 to 15 points.
Or so you said they won the series in 5. You're giving Pelicans 1 game?
Yes, 1.
All right, Skip Bayless.
Anthony Davis will get you 1.
You know, you've convinced me. I think Carrie and I, we're going to go in Carrie's car. We're going to drive to Oakland this weekend.
Yes,
and we're going to experience Oracle. Just to
Are you
check
ready?
it out. Yeah.
I did get a new car, so we can do that.
Hey,
Yeah,
Skip,
new car.
Yeah, so you can ride with
I'd
it.
take your old car.
Yeah.
Look at her, big money. Go ahead, girl, go ahead.
Fancy.
But let me say this, Skip, I'm not even talking about this weekend. You can pick any game you want.
Yeah.
It's that electric.
Yeah.
Any game, they're going to be that way. You got to go out there, man. You got to make it
We'll
up.
probably be there for the finals.
You know what?
I wouldn't say that.
You said that. You said that.
Yeah, that's your pick.
Yeah.
Your
I hope so.
Western Conference pick, Golden State Warriors.
I hope so.
Whom you doubted many times through the year. I will remind everyone. But that's okay. Now
I'm
you
all
doubt
over
my
the place,
Spurs. Wrongly. You know, if I had any guts, I would at least pick this series to go to 7 games. I'm going to be logical here and pick it to go 6 games. So I'm going to give the Pelicans, and I'm just getting used to saying that word, Pelicans, but it's starting to trip off my tongue now.
Not too bad.
I'm going to give them 2 games here. That could be 3. So I reserve the right to go to 3. I'm kidding about that. But the point is, Stephen A., when I look at the history of this series this year, the 4 games they played, Anthony Davis did not play in 2 of the 4. In the 2 he did play in, which was the first game at Golden State. Now, they lost badly, but he went for 30, 15, and 3 blocks. 30 points, 15 rebounds, 3 blocks. In the game that they won here recently, the scrimmage game near the end of the year against Golden State in New Orleans, Anthony Davis went for 29, 10, and 4 blocks. He's big time against this team because, what have you told me? Will Bogut be bogus? Now, Andrew Bogut is a key to their defensive resurgence. And I told you the other day, I think Steph guarding point guards is also a key. But Bogut has been their rim protector. They're not the biggest team. So, in a lot of ways, they're Bogut or bust in these big playoff games because he's going to have to play big against not only Anthony Davis, but Asik is pretty good. He's skilled, big body, banger. You know, when you're physical and skilled, you cause problems. He causes the Spurs a lot of problems. So I think that Anthony Davis, the outspoken young man that he is onto something here. He's saying we can play with these guys, and I believe that they can, because I started watching New Orleans a lot at the end of the year. Tyreke Evans has turned into a force in this league, and I'm not exaggerating that word force.
He can play.
Hey,
he can play.
He can play. He's 6 feet 6 inches tall, playing point guard. They moved him to the point. And all of a sudden, I look back at the numbers. Since January 25th, he's averaged 16 points, but 8 assists. That's high. 8 assists a game since late January. He is highly capable of getting you 30 on any given night, as he got against the Spurs the other night. And then Eric Gordon and Ryan Anderson can just shoot the lights out on any given night from the three-point line. And then Drew Holiday finally came back healthy the other night. I like the way he guarded, and I like the way he attacked the rim. He's hard to keep out of the lane. He is a talent. And all those role players they have now, Pondexter, Cunningham, Norris, Cole, they got from Miami, who's played big off the bench for them. All of a sudden, I'm starting to like this team. I haven't been completely sold on Golden State all year, only because they do die by the three to a fault. They're a much better team to me overall than they were last year because of their defense. But if Steph goes a little cold and all of a sudden Clay can't feed off him and he goes a little cold, they can get in trouble. And if they can't stop Anthony Davis, I don't know, these games are all going to be competitive to me. So I'm going to give them 2 games that should be, if I had any guts, 3.
Yeah, but you're giving them 2. That's better than nothing.
I think every game will be competitive, highly competitive, except game 1. I think game 1, listen, Pelicans, I didn't think that they were going to beat San Antonio the other night. I forgot that Thiago Splitter wasn't playing, but I got to tell you, when I'm looking at Golden State, you got to remember, you can't just look at Steph Curry shooting his free throws. He shoots 91% from the free throw line. He shoots more free throws than anybody else on the team, which means the ball's in his hands most of the time. But also, Skip, he and Klay Thompson together are incredible, incredible decoys. Because them being on the floor opens the floor up for a lot of people. Sure. Now, Sheik being on your front line can be formidable because he can be that zone presence that you need, which is what Bogut needs to do as well. But what I love about Golden State is that they defend, and when they score on you, they score in bunches. That's what they do. They really hit you in the mouth. So it'll be real interesting to see how the Pelicans respond to that.
Final thought, and you agreed with me on this, but when I watched Anthony Davis in a playoff game the other night, because it was a playoff game to get to the playoffs, basically, it was his first big test.
How'd he do?
Special. Man. Became a man.
Grown man.
Like you say, when he can drift out and shoot jump shots looking like a 2-guard from 20 feet, rainbow swishes.
How about when he went down on the break for the dunk, dribbling the ball the whole way? He looked like a guard dribbling the basketball on the break. In 2 to 3 years, Anthony Davis will be the best player in the world.
You're giving him a year. A year, right?
In the world.
How soon, Bayless?
Hey, what if in 2 weeks we're...
Oh, man.
But you know what? I ain't going to go that far. But listen, it would surprise me if it was next year. Anthony Davis is special. Yeah. The Pelicans have a
basketball power
superstar
index gives the Pelicans a 7% chance of winning the series. You are bold enough to give them 2 games.
Yeah, I'm giving them a 20% chance.
All right, good luck, kids. Coming up next, Johnny Manziel has spoken about his stay in rehab. We will react to his statement after the break. We'll be right back in just a few moments.